Central banks just dumped over 70 tons of gold in a single quarter, and the financial media did exactly what it always does, declared the bull market dead, told you the smart money is bailing, and advised you to panic. They couldn't be more wrong, because what looks like a mass retreat is actually the single most powerful confirmation that gold is the only real money left standing in this system. In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to show you the mechanics behind why central banks sell their most precious asset during a crisis and why it proves the opposite of what the headlines claim. I'll expose the engineered collapse happening in the paper markets while the physical market tells a completely different story. And I'll reveal why China's so-called pause in gold buying is not a reversal, it's a trap. By the end of this, you will never look at a gold sell-off the same way again. But first, let's pull back the curtain on what's actually happening.
To understand this, you need to reframe what gold actually is. It is not just an investment. It is not just a hedge. Gold is the emergency ATM of the global financial system. Look at countries like Turkey. Their currency is in free fall. Their financial system is under immense pressure. They're not selling gold because they suddenly lost confidence in it. They're selling because they desperately need US dollars right now to keep their economy from total collapse. Gold is their break glass in case of emergency button. And here's what makes it irreplaceable. It is the only reserve asset on the planet that can be liquidated in massive quantities, instantly, with zero counterparty risk. If they tried to dump their US Treasury bonds, they'd be selling into a rising yield environment and taking catastrophic losses. If they sold stocks, they'd be liquidating into a global downturn, the worst possible moment. Gold is the one asset that holds its value precisely when everything else is burning. Think about that for a moment. In a personal financial crisis, what do you sell first, your junk or your most valuable, easiest to convert asset? This selling is not a vote against gold. It is a powerful testament to gold's fundamental purpose. It is the ultimate source of liquidity when nothing else works. That is not a weakness. That is the entire point.
So why is the price crashing so hard if this selling makes perfect sense? This is where the real deception is hidden, and you need to understand this distinction before anything else. There is a massive difference between owning gold and merely renting exposure to it. The price you see collapsing on the news, that is the price in the paper markets, futures contracts, options, ETFs. These markets are dominated by leveraged speculators who don't hold a single ounce of real gold. They hold a bet on the price. And when the price dips, even slightly, their brokers send margin calls. They become forced sellers, not by choice, by mechanical obligation. One forced sale drops the price. The lower price triggers more margin calls. More margin calls force more sales. It becomes a cascade, an engineered waterfall designed to shake as many people out of the market as possible. And you, what's your theory on why these crashes happen so fast? Drop it in the comments, I want to know. But here is what the financial media never shows you. While this paper fire sale is unfolding, the physical market is telling a completely different story. Long-term holders aren't panicking. Other central banks, the smarter ones, are quietly accumulating real gold in real vaults. This sell-off is not a crisis. It is a reset. It flushes the weak hands from the system and gives the strong hands the chance to buy real physical gold at a manufactured discount. The paper market is the illusion. The physical market is the truth.
Now, the headline that everyone is misreading. China pauses its gold buying. This is where you need to stop thinking like a retail investor and start thinking like a geopolitical strategist. The People's Bank of China is not playing the same game as everyone else. They are running a decade-long strategy while the rest of the world reacts to quarterly headlines. Announcing a pause is a brilliant tactical move. When China stops buying officially, the price gets suppressed, and that suppression creates the perfect window to quietly accumulate even more, through non-official channels, through intermediaries, through mechanisms that never show up in the public reports. Do you honestly believe China reports every single ounce they acquire? History proves they don't. They've done this before. They accumulate in complete secrecy for years. Then one day they reveal their reserves to the world, and everyone discovers they've been sitting on hundreds of additional tons that nobody knew about. This isn't a reversal of their de-dollarization strategy. It is the strategy. While everyone is reading the headline and concluding China is done with gold, China is playing geopolitical chess, and the rest of the world is still playing checkers.
So let me be absolutely clear about what you are watching right now. This is not the end of the gold bull market. This is a stress test, and the asset is passing with flying colors. The structural reasons that drove gold to where it is today have not changed. They have intensified. Global debt is out of control. The geopolitical fractures are widening. The dollar system is in slow-motion decay. And the people who understand what's actually happening, while everyone else is paralyzed by the headlines, will be the ones who are not caught off guard when this breaks. The sell-off you're seeing is the paper market purging its gamblers. That's healthy. That's necessary. And what comes after that purge is historically the most powerful part of the move. What we are witnessing right now is a tremor. What comes next will be felt across the entire global monetary system. Subscribe, because you will want to see it clearly before it happens.